stable. Maybe Snake King as a personality was easier to handle. Not saying that Universe is difficult to work with, but maybe it just fit them.
Everything I've heard, it would have been the opposite.
I heard Universe is a very easy person to work with, but you don't know the hidden things that somebody brings. It's like the Moo for Moon Swap, right?
Yeah.
It's all these little things that you never really quite think about. It's not that the player is necessarily worse, it's the fit that matters in Dota. That's why, in my opinion, like Aster, for example, you look at that team individually, if you were to list it one by one, you're thinking to yourself, that's a pretty good team.
And you know, it was a discussion on the panel. They were talking about every team that Universe is on comes problem of cores and how you actually split up the farm.
Yeah, because Universe is a very specific player.
Okay.
Like I think Universe is somebody that he's a playmaker, but at the same time, like you need to give him a prerequisite amount. So when I think of Universe, I think of like the Earthshakers, the Darkseers, the Faceless Voids, like the ones that need a little bit more.
And that's saying it's not necessarily like Universe is being a dick and he's like, I want farm, give me time. Like, it's also, he's just an accomplished enough and talented enough player that you want to give him those kind of roles, right?
You can't, the thing about Dota is like, your pub history matters so much. If you've been playing a certain style competitively and in pubs like a certain way, it's really hard to switch out of it. Yeah. That's why we don't see, like we see role swaps, but we see them within like the 1 or 2 position. That's like what Liquid does, for example. But you don't see people just like completely change. That only happens when you have a veteran of like 10 years that really understands how to play support.
Right.
You know, Arteezy always jokes, he's like, one day, you know, in like 3 years when I've gotten third at my like 18th TI, I'm going to finally play 5 position.
Resolution is going to be playing a Juggernaut with SVG Lich top lane. We see in this bottom lane in Ember Spirit Coddle versus the Beastmaster. Not so much. Backed up. Rubik, what do you think about this this duo, and how do you think MSS has actually transitioned from an offlaner into a 4?
Oh, I mean, he was always a 4. That's what, remember the, oh, I just hold that thought as Seb almost gets killed, but remember when he was on that Liquid squad with Fluff in them and he was ringing for them?
Yeah.
He was mainly playing 4 in that role. So I think this is more of his natural roots. And then he played mid for EG. Remember the roster with Fog? Shout out to Fog. That was a terrible roster, no offense. I remember they played at that MLG tournament that Speed ended up winning, and they were garbage.
Yeah. And even when he was playing 3 position, like it was a very aggressive, sacrificial.
Yeah. I think he's the type of player that just needs to run at people.
Yeah.
Like even when he was playing mid, I recall very strongly that Earthspear was his hero in the mid lane. Like plays back then it was doable, remember, because you could do the kick trick. Yeah. Broken piece of but
Jags trying to make sure that SVG can't get any pulls here. This should be a pretty good lane for Magnus, right? Like, you've got an offlaner that can actually deal with the pressure of the Lich slow plus Juggernaut spin.
Yeah. What makes offlane, I think, really interesting is, like, it depends on what... The matchup depends on, like, can you kill the offlaner and like, how easy it is.
Yeah.
Because if you can... You know, if Seb knows that he can't die because he's got Skewer, he can play however he wants.
He can play more aggressively,
he can
get a lot more CS.
As long as he's got like 250 health and he's got Skewer up, he can play as aggressively as he wants.
Yeah, and naturally snowballs, right? It means you're not getting denied any of that CS, you're getting the stats you need.
Yeah, and then once Mac gets 3, actually I guess 4, you get that level of Empower, and then it makes it really hard for this melee carry to just sit there. Jarex is getting chased down a little bit. It's down to 15 health.
Would be able to survive, it looks like.
They're doing that thing. Do you see?
But yeah, the toss of the range creeps. You can see that up there in the Radiant off lane. They keep on tossing the range creeps over to deny them away from forward. Now, eventually forward's gonna be able to kill those, but at least for the laning phase, it's gonna be a pain.
So silly.
It really is.
Does that bother you?
Does it bother you that you can do that? Kind of. I mean, it's just one of those things, like, it works right now, but it's a cheesy mechanic that's going to get patched out. You know it is. That's why initially I refused to play Chaos Knight. I was like, this is stupid broken. This is going to get...
I mean, the thing about it is, exploit the game how you can until it gets changed, right?
Yeah.
You can't blame Na'Vi for doing the hook thing, right? Do you have a problem with it?
Well, if you're a Loda, you can play.
I can understand, though. I mean, they ended up winning that tournament, did they? Well, no, that was TI2, right?
I think that was TI.
Was it the one when he was on Zenith? It was when he was on Zenith. Oh,
Nope.
they actually get a
That's a
first
big
blood
one.
on the Ember.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Beastmaster pressure is just too much. Seb,
they're swinging.
no damage, but he
Again,
still has
he's
skewer
fine.
at any point in time.
He doesn't really care about it. So Jarex can continue to just do this toss trick.
Thanks to the stats of Empower, you can see Seb is 17-0 right now. Plenty of CS for now. Compare that to like the Ember Sphere, who's 17-1. Seb is going to finally skewer, but he actually picks up Resolution. Resolution managed to get in front of him, and that's going to be a successful kill. Toss back of the Lich. Not going to be quite... Oh, it did. Just one tower shot, but only one. So SV.
A little bit of an issue there. Rezo is actually just going to straight up go for the bounty runes. Jarex is going to pick one of them, but I guess that the other prerequisite that we didn't really list is you can't skewer somebody back with you. You got to make that trip solo.
The panel did say that the biggest thing that we're going to be watching for this game is Deuce's farm. How do you think that this game's going to play out? They were talking about, like, is this going to be enough time? Is the Deuce going to be able to mine fast enough?
The interesting thing is that both lineups, I think, have like slow paces in some ways.
Yeah.
Like OG, when you play Mag plus any melee core with like Troll and stuff, you want to abuse the fact that you're giving up a free Battle Fury, right? You don't want to just immediately fight with that hero. Having it doesn't mean you want to just continue to get further ahead. Having the Empower doesn't mean like, okay, I'm ready to fight now. Okay, I'm ready to hit Ancient Creeps like them.
Yeah.
But that also allows the Deuce to get farm. The good news, I think, for Forward's lineup is that they do have heroes that can play quick around this Deuce. Like this Beastmaster, I think Universal determined the majority of this game. If Universe can get online fast enough, make these moves with his Vlads, you take this bottom tier 1 tower early enough, then you can start playing the mid area and just playing this like harass game. Then I think it's actually quite nice. Is
Jarex
doesn't have mana?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. Just
He
didn't
does
have
not?
mana for thought.
Too short by
5 mana.
I don't think the War dies anyway. He's got a Fairy Fire play. And he's got Mana Shield.
It is remarkable how similar these lineups are, right? They both have like kind of a hard carry mid that's going to scale into the game. They both have a natural accelerator out of their offlaner. Beastmaster enables the Deuce to come online faster with his aura. You've got the Empower for the Troll. And then both of them have a safe lane that is a big space creator that comes online pretty early, is able to get, you know, just kind of run around the map solo and free to kill whatever you find.
That's what I'd like to see out of Rezo this game. I know typically the meme is like, you know, or protect Rezo.
Yeah.
But I think Rezo should be aggressive in this. Like, he can't play his typical style, I think, of just trading out farm. I feel like when you have a Deuce on your team, she's such an immobile hero. Wherever she goes, she's not going anywhere else. She's just going to march down that lane, just sort of sit there as like this unwavering target.
Yeah.
And Rezo thinking about just...
All right, now he's going to start killing some of those range creeps, or at least the ones that he can reach.
He can get them, don't worry.
Get all of them?
Move to the left, there you go. Side to side now. He's got him.
And so in the end, did it really affect his laning phase?
It did in the short term, right? Because it brought
Yeah.
Seb's lane back.
But they still managed to kill Seb. Jarex is now just a roll machine.
I don't think of Mag. I mean, Mag and Beastmaster are obviously two heroes.
Whatever is going to be caught here. The Avalanche is going to come out. Triple Remnant. Espada. iLTW not quite enough to be able to finish off Universe. The blast in there. It goes. No Tail's going to be able to get him.
Look at Rezo though. Early rotation. This is what
nice
I said.
TP though from No
be...
Tail.
Yeah. You want this guy to be aggressive though. Rezo,
Yeah.
like he just has to be the one to make moves. Dusa just hits this triangle of farm and just sits there. She's gonna get really far ahead as a result. Too many Dusa games in my pub. Dusa gets a little bit behind, farm out this area, get the early levels of the split shot, just get 1 level of the mana shield, you're fine. You can hit 3 camps at once.
SVG managed the tree. Might be able to get away. Jarex does manage to get the toss. Universe is here, slowing him down with the boar. Kind of body blocking SVG, but it doesn't matter. OG already trying to retreat, and they do have the TP in of the Rubik. Nice toss away from Jarex, but MSS is there. Kill.
Now they're gonna switch things up a little bit as Seb. Level 5 as a result of the long amount of time that they were dueling.
Right now, forward do have a bit of a lead off phase.
But it's this bottom lane now where who do you really sit up down here? I guess they can just send the Ember again Master has already shown top. Normally what ends up happening is they both try to take this tower down. Exactly what's going to happen is iLTW sees it's just a jug by himself. I should be that afraid.
Put it in the 1-to-1 laning phase. Like, isn't that still going to be... If Ember Spirit's just kind of like stuck here in this lane against Jug, isn't forward going to be more...
Yeah, I think so. Because you still know that your Deuce is getting farmed in the jungle. Like, whenever you have these ancient hitters or these people that can just farm in that jungle early on, it makes it so that MSS, for example, can just sit mid, soak XP.
LTW trying to blow up SVG thanks to the toss back from Jerix, and
Nice.
once again, No Tail is there. Clutch the kill.
I don't think SVG should be down here. I don't think he serves any purpose. Because Rezo doesn't really need his help, and they're not going to have any kills, right? Like, you're not going to kill an Ember.
Resolution getting aggressive here, knowing the Ember Spirit doesn't have a whole lot of remnants left, just one of them.
You might just go for No Tail instead.
Rezo still has that Omni Slash. He could have used it on No Tail, but maybe feeling like he did damage. Full health support. Jerix does manage to get the toss in the chains as well. Rezo turns around. Oh no! Ooh. That wasn't the play they wanted off of Jerix. Resolution.
That's rough. That was well done, though. They baited it.
Just delivered
For
the
a second,
kill.
I was like, Jerix, you mother... I would have been so mad if I was iLTW and I died that way, but had the remnant up the entire time. They knew what they were doing. And now the kill threat is entirely removed. So being down here, I think, is kind of a no point. That's why I wanted to see somebody mid. And that Yawar now, as a result of the Rubik not being here, or the Lich not being here, has to come back from the jungle camp to defend his tower.
Mid lane. Thinking about trying to pressure UR, but TP in from Universe. They have to back away to bottom. They are going to be able to run down No Tail. Sleight of Fist bouncing around. Jerix almost enough to be able to finish off MSS. He needs another swing, but now slowed down by SVG. It's the Ember Spirit who's going to be able to claim his life with the Sleight of Fist, but he's been caught by the Beastmaster. Skewer away, put him on the high ground. Resolution can't get the damage immediately. Another Slide is going to dodge sometime, but he's completely out of mana. Won't be able to escape forward. Forward just controlling so much of this bottom lane. OG, do you think they should even be in this situation?
No, I don't think they should have gone bot.
Yeah.
I feel like you just mirror and go top and allow your supports to get some levels. You can move the troll with Empower off that lane and let Seb take that lane instead. I mean, I know why they rotated in, because they wanted to punish the fact that two supports were bottom, but then Dusa just came back in, made the correct play instead of just hitting Ancient. I think right now the play is for one of the supports, like MSS most likely, to just TP into this mid lane and then just sit there and pull off the creep wave, allow your Dusa to get farmed, punish the fact that OG made that play at bottom. I would have preferred the Rubik because I think he can nuke the creep wave a lot easier, but he went top instead, which is fine too. Like, you're gonna enable both of your supports now, which is what you wanted on the side of OG, and that's what that mirror would have allowed you to have. But now it's kind of slowed down as a result. Now Seb's gonna take this top lane instead of one of the supports. It makes it a little bit harder now for Jerix to get back in. Like, if you look at Jerix, he's level 4.
Yeah.
It's 12 minutes in. He's gonna do some Tosh shenanigans.
Riz like, okay, you stalled my farm for 2 seconds. Grats.
Still got the big camp. iLTW. Rezo's still gonna come in. Can always just...
Now on Jerix. No Tail is ready to go. Now the magic immunity is gone. They have the CP and cover the Magnus. He's going to be here. Time not quite fast enough. Resolution managed to dodge the skewer. They're going to pull him back in here as the Will-O-Wisp comes out. Resolution is going to be stuck here for a while, but he does have SVG and Universe waiting in the wings. Just
now.
Might be able to protect him. Resolution protects himself with that magic immunity, but now tops it. Ooh, Primal War is going to be able to stop all that physical damage that was going to come in. The Chain Frost bouncing around, but the Lich is now dead. These two are quite low. Thompson is going to be able to pop his ultimate, the Omni Slash, as well as now that hold from Yawar. Thompson is going to die eventually here, but maybe he can actually finish off the deuce. He does! Right before he goes down, iLTW is now going to chase these very low health heroes. Universe on one side, where we've got the Juggernaut trying to make his way out of here. Universe is definitely stuck. Resolution managed to juke his way out of the Ember Spirit's grasp.
Wow, and he went by the creep wave too, the neutrals, so that if iLTW tried to chance the
Slight into chains.
Yeah, but he didn't have it anyway. But a good overall fight. That could have been even better for 4 if they just committed to helping the Dusa. I think it's because you get tricked into thinking, oh, well, the Troll's got one hit.
Yeah.
Oof,
You're like, that ultimate's going to wear out eventually.
That's a mistake.
That is going to be a problem later on to the game, right? How effective that Stone Gaze is against the Troll. It's just a really great way to peel and delay the troll's effectiveness during that ult.
That's why they took Dusa, right? Against 2 melee cores.
Yeah.
I know some people say, like, technically,
Later on, he doesn't want it.
bash people. Do you want to bash people? Rezo is now going to sit mid. Both teams, if you watched our cast yesterday, protecting the tower, doing a great job of that, trying not to. I feel like OG now should try to either all in for this mid tower or go to top with 3 heroes and create that area, like play around where your ward vision is.
And MSS doing it, as you said. Tower. It seems like to me, no matter what
top.
it is, off lane, mid, when you have a tower advantage, it seems like the team that has the tower advantage always defends.
Yes, you should, because you have this inherent advantage now that you know people have to move through. But I think that OG should have just gone top, taken that top, or commit for the like, all in for it. Just bring 4 heroes.
SVG was spotted for a moment. Slight hits him. Resolution is the one cops the chains.
Get on
But
Glyph.
this is going to be the mid tower falling.
Now I think you try to go for top. They're instead just going to go into this Roche pit. I guess they have Vlad's plus Empower. They think they're strong enough.
Bold.
It is, because they haven't even taken that top tower. And SVG, Kings' team, they smoke up. They got to go fast, though. Nope, they've got plenty of time.
Yeah, this is going to take a while for Thompson to do it all by himself. The Hawk is going to come in, give them plenty of vision, which is, again, kind of another curious fact that OG are just willing to go straight into the Roshan pit, despite the fact that Forward can get that clear vision out from the Hawk.
Yeah, this is really bold. Like, I can't believe they went for that. Maybe you can do it, but it feels like such an unnecessary risk when you could just go for that top tower instead. And
RP out of Juggernaut, going to be able to hold him into Thompson. Rezo still alive, though. He's going to be survived thanks in part to that Lich Frost Shield. Jarix comes in from behind, will be able to do a lot of damage to the supports. That's going to be the Lich down MSS at half health. Great Will-O-Wisp, but Primal Roar out from Universe is going to be able to stall the Ember Spear's damage. That was going to follow up that Will-O-Wisp. It was able to pull Yuarin one more time, and now he's going to be chased down by Seb as well as Thompson. No one snares just yet. There it is. Double kill for iLTW, and finally, OG get the team fight that they wanted all along off of that very forceful attempt at Roshan.
That was so funny. Like, Jarix actually just walked in behind everybody, just casually struts in, gets a 4-man stun toss, and then just kind of walks out. And as a result, that fight just completely turns around forward. And that was hilarious. He actually just kind of strolled through without a care in the world. And now they're going to get the Roshan as a result of that fight win.
Do you think that was like you look at this lineup Forward with the Beastmaster, the greediness of having Beastmaster and Medusa, this very awkward like 15 to 20 minute, like neither one of them really does it. You could see why OG would be willing to force a fight any way they could.
It was just a really awkward engagement for 4-2. Like, the Beastmaster roars, but the rest of his team is cut off by that beautiful Will-O-Wisp.
Yeah.
That made it so that the roar was completely nullified. They couldn't take advantage of that.
Uh-oh. That was an Omni Slash. Saw that one on the mini map. Resolution hopping around. Looks like he tried to go for Jarix.
The tilt tip.
OG. You
got
now an Aegis and 1,000 net worth lead.
No-Tail's Will-O-Wisp was so clutch there, though. The fact that he was able to just completely cut off that fight, the 2 supports from OG definitely won that one. Who did Beastmaster roar? I think he roared...
He roared the Ember Spirit because he basically wanted to stop the damage that was going to come.
But that's really their only hard lockdown aside from the lift. I guess you can count gaze, but SVG isn't tanky enough to 5-on-5 walk in full duration gaze anybody. And he doesn't even have it leveled yet. So their only real hard disable aside from the lift, which is okay, but is going to be your roar. And once that's down, OG, even though they didn't have mag RP, their heroes can actually still fight with the Will-O-Wisp, with Tiny walking in behind everybody.
OG are not immediately going to try and use this Aegis to push down towers or anything. Troll had an Ancient stack to go through. They're letting the Ember Spirit just kind of play his own game while the 2 supports as well as the OG can secure their own jungle a bit. Clear the way for top. See, Thompson spent quite a lot of time. Net worth out of the jungle to the Magnus and the stacking of Vayne. There's a lot of heroes forced down to that bottom lane.
Free tier 1 now.
OG are just getting all kinds of free towers.
That's the benefit that having that Aegis. So they're just not going to really contest. It looks like they're going to grab this tier 2 tower up. top for free. I'd like to see Forward play this a little bit quicker and just have people committed to taking that bottom tower. I think at this point you have to go for the trade.
OG maximizing the space they've got here, pushed in both mid while joining Thompson to hit top lane. They don't want to get too greedy, spread themselves too far around the map.
It's a neat move by OG. They're playing very decisively. They pushed in this mid lane too, just in case they want to try to go for a 2-for-1. And they're smoked up, but it's unlikely that anybody from Forward just goes up there. And it even looks like a high ground broach.
Yeah, the high ground just to force Forward back, right? And it may be an opportunity for iLTW to catch somebody, but rather he's caught by Universe with the Primal War inside of the tree. Nice. They are going to be able to take away that Aegis, but the tier 3 is dropping fast. This cannot be worth it.
Get out, get out.
iLTW is very happy with the situation. He's going to be able to join up at the top lane. We're going to see the Will-O-Wisp come out once again. Yuar does manage to get off the Stone Case. Ryze, who's running out of mana. He gets the stall. Will be able to stay alive a little bit longer, but the Will-O-Wisp is holding him there. The RP comes down onto the Juggernaut as he tries to spin in. Thompson is staying alive, and he is fighting Resolution to the death. And death it is for Rezo. He falls, a buyback immediately out of Yuar's Medusa as he watches his core go down. He's got to find a way to be able to defend these Raxes, but they just don't have the damage anymore. Yuar doesn't have the damage by himself, and Universe already using that Primal War. They have no hold. A nice jump in from Seb. Skewer back. That's going to be Universe dead as well. Now SVG on the front lines is going to be able to grab Ember Spirit. Buys a little bit of time, but MSS almost side to the Ember Spirit. iLTW jumps away last second. Jarek's jumping in now to make sure that iLTW stays alive. The Mystic Snake comes out. It doesn't kill Jarek's either.
Thompson's getting back in.
OG are pushing this to the limit right now.
All right, everyone's got like 100.
They're gonna bring him back. Yuar's gonna tie back. Unbelievable. OG. They play it to the bitter ends that they could.
If you combine all 4 of their HPs, aside from No Tails, they have like a combined 300.
Holy shit, that was such an outplay.
You got styled on so hard right there. Oh my.
OG are feeling themselves.
That's when you know. They were not afraid of anything. They're like, all our cores have like 100 health. No problem. You see Thompson run in, he would die to a snake. He just keeps baiting him closer and closer so that Seb can blink back, bring him back in. Oh, that was mechanically so well done. Like the impact difference that you're feeling between this Magnus, even though he went for that 1 RP, it didn't really lead to anything. Like he's taking the opportunities to just go for it consistently. And as a result, it's paying off. It was like Universe, I feel bad for him because I think this game is pretty rough for a Beastmaster. If you're your only lockdown, I always say it, like if you're the only lockdown, you're always gonna look bad because everything relies on you.
We're gonna see that again. I mean, it was just a brilliant setup by OG at the start. It kind of forced Forward to split up in some ways, and
it's the fact that they used the gate. They controlled the Dusa long enough so that her gaze came out at the tail end of her mana pool.
Yeah.
So that even when they turned into stone, they couldn't fight.
Jump back in live here to watch Universe die again. You're right. This is not a fun Beastmaster game. Will-O-Wisp is going to come out as Rezo doesn't have the spin to protect himself. Manta away, but still going to get pulled one more time. The TPs are going to
he stole
here from
MSS
OG.
stole it.
MSS, nice. Will-O-Wisp stolen. And a telekinesis on Thompson as well. Makes sure that they do manage to get out on at least their cores. Unfortunately, MSS himself, the sacrificial.
Jarek's is... Oh, this has got to be so annoying to play against. He just keeps tossing people back. He's tipping. He's doing the tilt tip as well.
OG, 8,000 gold lead. They don't need to wait for a second Roshan, it seems like, to take more objectives. Setting themselves up. Mid's pushed in. Bottom lane is pushing in as well. There's still plenty of tower net worth to be claimed. Thompson, well, he does have his ultimate. Oh, nice toss from Jarek's. That is beautiful. Gets him away from that Omni Slash. And now Thompson can go back in, still with his ultimate ready to go.
Jarek's is still alive for the time being. Might go down as the boar is on top of him.
There's just too many slows, but Thompson sees this opportunity to go for Yuar. Immediately Yuar pops that Stone Gaze. He's so afraid of the Troll's damage with that Diffusal Blade. Very quickly can rip through that mana shield. Slow down MSS, who has to telekinesis here, but iLTW is going to be able to get the chains out. Tries to protect himself with a stolen flame guard. Can't get it though.
If you notice from OG, they have multiple ways to start the fight. Like iLTW has set up so many different engagements with just his chains.
Buyback in RP from Seth. He's going to be able to get the 2-man skewer back into the whirling axes of Thompson, as well as that cleave. SVG is in the middle of nowhere.
JRX with that toss save too to start it all off. Thompson didn't have an Aegis or anything, no BKB, tosses him out, saves him from the Jug Omni Slash. Does die, but I mean, they forced out a Chain Frost on top of that.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Do you think this is a lineup problem? Do you think this is a drafting problem, or?
I think it's a combination. I think they're getting outplayed. Like that mid fight was definitely just an outplay, and that's what led to the Roshan. And that bottom fight too. Their decision to go for that kill while their base was getting hit.
Yeah.
iLTW was just like, I have an Aegis. I'm not sure what you guys. And the TPs back were so late. It's like nobody on forward noticed for a full like 4 seconds. Like, oh wait, our tier 3's gone. And casually they've lost the round.
Yeah, iLTW does that in the first place. He puts himself in that situation because if they try and TP back, he's going to stop TPs.
He's got a remnant there.
Yeah.
He doesn't care.
He'll make sure that no matter what, it's going to be some sort of weird 4 versus 5, or they're going to be too late to save the tier 3. JRX being run down here, does manage to get an avalanche, blocking in by the Medusa's illusions. JRX, a lot of hate coming his way. First it was the Chain Frost, now it's the Primal Roar.
It's definitely both though. Like if you're iLTW, this game is really fun for you to play because there's very little that can kill you, and you can always set up with the Searing Chains for your team. Like that is the support killer in this. Whereas for forward to get any sort of kills, even on the support, they have to commit the Roar.
Yeah.
When they don't commit an ult, the Roar, or the Chain Frost, they're not getting killed. We saw yesterday when Stoxa was playing the Coddle, if you can't get on top of this hero, his team fight contribution is way too good.
LTW losing most of his mana from the Mystic Snake of UR. He is still not afraid. As Lincoln's coming up, the Will-O-Wisp is going to be able to catch that Juggernaut. Thompson, this is so rough for forward. They just have no teeth whatsoever. They can't do any damage to OG at this point. UR, he's going to be chased down.
Look at JRX.
Can't even make it back to tier 3.
He was dead, but he still gives him the all-chat taunt. Like, that's an assist right there.
Held in place by the gaze of SVG. Seb, it's going to enable iLTW and Thompson to clean up more heroes. That's a triple kill now for Thompson. iLTW will be able to grab MSS. So I'm not sure. Did he just empower Universe? His dying breath. Hey, well, Universe has got cleave now.
JRX gets tipped back.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
But yeah, I think it was a combination of OG just playing this like perfectly. Hit that top fight. Sometimes you know when a team is just, they're rolling. They felt that.
It seemed like you weren't a big fan of the combination support. Like you're talking about like the multiple ways to be able to start a fight that OG has. So many different ways. Both their supports can start a fight and their offlaner can. Their mid can as well. And then you've got forward who can just...
They have a Deuce and a Jug that don't really do anything set up in the fight. I think I didn't see the draft order, but I think what probably happened is after they took the mag, did they take the Jug? Deny the pick? I'm not sure, but in any case, like I think their lineup, you can do stuff with it on the side of forward, but in my opinion, like Dota's always been determined by whose lineup is easier to execute behind it all. You have stuns, you get the initiation. You can get an initiation off. You can always come back in. Like if you have tools to start a fight, get that early 4-on-5 or something like that. Turn the game around, but I just don't think forward quite have that. They need this Dusa to continue pace of game.
Do you think it's possible they could just stall on high ground for another 35 minutes or something?
I mean, Dusa games, it's always possible, but I think that OG right now are, unless they mess up massively, it would take them messing up rather than anything crazy forward could do. But they're going to smoke in. They're going to
second Roshan forward cannot allow this to happen. JRX is positioning himself that way. Forward had to go through him in order to get inside the Roshan pit. His life is going to be well used here as it looks like JRX will fall, but now the Roshan's already dead, and we're going to have Thompson coming in with that Aegis whirling axis. That's going to be Universe as well as MSS down. Stone Gaze popped by UR, but I'm not even sure if he's going to get away. Thompson's going to be able to slow him down with another round of range axes, and iLTW is just always on the chase. Chains up in 3 seconds and forwards. I mean, you've got a Frost Shield, but there's no other assistance that's coming for UR.
Their team fight is so good
Shane Frost back at him.
with the Ember Spear being able to start all the fights for them, that they didn't even need to use RP in this fight to win that. Like that's how comfortably ahead they are.
Has fallen.
This is really well done by OG. It was the mid fight, the initial one where they were able to cut the fight off, make the Roar useless,
Yeah.
and the decision by Forward to go for that bottom play by OG. I mean, credit to OG because they were like, well, we'll force them back, and then the opportunity sort of just presented itself. It's weird, like, because I
mean,
never.
the way that game ended is just like, it's a great story for the game as a whole, where Thompson's just kind of ignoring all the damage that's being put on him. And
Yeah. I mean, that was just a cool situation overall, like when they were just like, well, we'll go high ground and then we'll just outplay you for like 3 minutes straight with like 108. And I think Forward, I mean, they look disappointed and they should be. That's just a weird way to lose a game. It felt like they'd never really had a chance the entire time through, and that's how largely their tournament run has sort of looked so far. They just sort of look lost, a little bit off. I mean, credit to OG because they played this game real well.
for sure. This losing streak for Forward continues, and they got to find a way to dig themselves out of this. Otherwise, they're going to be going out bottom 2 teams in their group. A team that was like once hailed as kind of like a great NA hope. They were kind of expected the easy number 2 in North America, and here at ESL and Katowice, it does not look good for them.
No, and that's like, personally, it's pretty disappointing, right? Because you have, I mean, we're from North America. There's no bias here, but like, North American Dota do well, you know? How's Cole doing, by the way? Surely Cole is picking up the
Cole,
slack.
lock it down, boys.
Is EG here? Like,
All right, well, rough times for Forward in this game 1 against OG. Maybe different draft. Something different needs to happen for Forward. They want to be able to take on what juggernauts OG.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Lots of chat gonna have to happen. Forward are gonna figure out how they come back in this series. A poor performance in game number 1. A good performance by OG, though. They've bounced back after losing 2-0 to Gambit earlier on today. And don't forget, of course, Forward took a game off Gambit yesterday, so they're not out of it just yet. So let's find out from our panel. Alan, it was a good performance by OG.
It's very solid, and
Yeah.
you know, Dota boils down to a lot of things, but one thing that OG has done so well since the beginning of TI is they consistently put pressure on your tier 1 mid tower and defend their own. And it really felt to me like I thought Forward had some momentum in this game, but OG stopped a couple of tier 1 pushes around the early teens minute marks, and it looked like Forward's momentum sort of fizzled from there.